All right. I had a video in the works with a possible interpretation. Anyway, it is a correlation of one type of Sasquatch Bigfoot Hibagon structure. Hibagon, the Japanese Bigfoot. A correlation with something physical. But I've pushed that video aside. Things are moving here, and we are on the move. We have dates for this year's autumn and probably only expedition to Mount Hiba. All of our spring plans were thwarted, frustrated, but we haven't exactly been slack, as some count slackness. We've found, explored a little, and confirmed 4 new areas with Hibagon activity: Mount Zhao, Jinseki Sanwa, the Miyukicho River Bend, and the mountains above Bingo Akasaka. All of these need more study, and waiting on our list is Mount Jain, where that buckwheat noodle-eating peasant was attacked and killed and ripped open, his belly ripped open, by an oni, which we take to be a bad Hibagon. We've found too many structures to shake a stick at. We've found designs right out of the field guide, made from classic tree sticks and timbers and bamboo. Now, I think that's a world first. I think we found a footprint, which, if I'm right, this is the first footprint reported publicly since November 29, 1972. Not bad for an out-of-practice retired varmint hunter. But not to fan myself too much, we'd be finding a lot more if more people were looking, but I think I'm the only one looking. My commercial artist friend sat down with me, shoulder to shoulder, and looked at this suspected footprint with me. I asked her to interpret it, tell me what she saw before I said anything. She sees a partial footprint with a strong heel impression and 3 toes. And that's what I see. We think the print was made this way. Someone with enormous feet, enormous bare feet, and please see my 10.5 shoe for scale, was walking up this slope. His foot slipped backward, and he then leaned forward and into his strong toes. I think some of these 3-toed Sasquatch footprints are made just this way, where the feet are splayed and angled in, sort of pigeon-toed, for better traction. I do something like this myself. I shift onto my stronger toes for better purchase and power on a mountainside. All right, now something else I've been doing this year. I've been trying to tell people and ask them to come and see for themselves and help. I'm not even originally from here. We need more locals. So I've been putting together a call list of theoretical, possible volunteers from which we might assemble a posse. And for this autumn expedition, I think we have a posse. Now, all of this is still tentative, and of course we should say the Lord willing and all of that, but this is the plan so far as we're putting it together. In 2 weeks from today, we go. First, just my family. We'll take 1 day on Mount Hiba. I think I would like to climb the Tateboshi conical summit, which I believe to be an artificial mound, probably a barrow. We could also explore the artificially flat step of the pond step, which I believe was scraped flat for the earth to produce that mound. Now that would be a whole day after driving all the way up there. We will sleep on Mount Hiba, and I would like to put out at least one audio recorder. 2 or 3 would be great in an array, but at least one all night where we found some of those structures last year. Second day, we are planning to be joined by 4 more adults and 2 more children. We plan to meet at a trailhead on Dragon Lord Mountain and hike up together to Instant Wisdom Falls, a waterfall whose name might very possibly be connected to the old traditional name for the Japanese Bigfoot, Satori, meaning consciousness. I need to study this more. It's really interesting, and I think there's something there. I thought the Hibagon might live in this part of the mountain for reasons of resources and remoteness, practical reasons. The manager of the prefectural forest center, the nephew of this Hibagon eyewitness, had his eye on the same area, but for very different reasons. But we both suspect this area. So I want to try to probe it, but it is very, very wild. Now, after that, the mothers and children will leave. They will go to an amusement park in Mihara, near the Mihara Winery, and they'll spend the rest of their day there. The remaining 4 adults will proceed around the mountain, first stopping to retrieve the trail cameras that I planted last year. Then on to the colossal solar calendar, megalithic solar calendar, which, as far as I know, no man living has ever set eyes on. Certainly on which nothing has ever been published. There's nothing written. This is a World Heritage level artifact. We know it's a solar calendar. We figured out that much. Some of the lines point to solar events. And the longest line, almost a kilometer long, also points dead center to that mound or barrow, Tateboshi Cone, which I think it's a royal grave. Last year I tried to get on the solar calendar to see how it's constructed. But I got scared out of there before I was able to reach it. I was alone. I felt, you remember the story, those who were here last year. Some of you were not here last year. I felt as if hit by a phenomenon that some people speculate might be infrasound, and I don't know anything about that. It might be, might not be, but it was something external. I do believe that. Well, this time 4 of us will give it a go, and we'll try from a different angle. And we'll try to get to whatever contraption is able to make and maintain perfectly straight lines up a mountainside for thousands of years, and somehow not be overgrown and entirely obscured. And we'll try to document that for you with photos and videos, and report from the solar calendar vertex. And that should finish that day. So we will then rendezvous in Mihara, buy some of the local wine, and head home. If, and only if, you'd like to support this channel with a tip, now would be a really good time. They don't know it, but I'm going to treat my volunteer posse to lunch, amusement park tickets, and refill their gas tanks. And I'd like to buy more gear, 1 or 2 audio recorders, and hey, just a thought, but if you help pony up for a drone, if you all together could go in on half a drone, I'd go the other half, and we could fly that thing right off the pond step out directly over the solar calendar. I don't know what you think about that. I think that would be great. And maybe it's too late to get it together, but if you guys all paid for half, I'd pay for half. And that way, if I mess up and send that thing on a one-way kamikaze reconnaissance mission, we all share the loss. Now, let me be very clear. I'm paying for my own family. I'm a grown-up man. I'm paying for my own family out of our own family budget. That's already paid. But if you would like to help me, volunteer to help with our on-the-ground volunteers and more gear, that would help me a lot. That would help me a lot. Any money left over from that, I propose, tell me what you think. I propose to donate to Peace Wonko Japan. This is a dog rescue charity. They rehabilitate and rehome homeless dogs. Their founder and president was the man who was killed in that helicopter crash near Grandma's house last month. So they are headless, and they could use help. They have a shelter right near my house, and I could make a donation there. Well, that's the Autumn Mount Hiba plan. Okay, thank you. And for any help you can give, I really thank you. Bye-bye. Love you.